The one and only, Dame Judi Dench. Judi, you're very welcome. Lovely to see you. It's because Sunday nights have been, I'm not grovelling or crawling, I've been in our household absolutely unalloyed bliss. Cranford's been super fun. Fun to do in all that kit and get-up. And...
Yes, huge fun to do.
Yeah.
Not so bad in the kit and get. What is tricky, I tell you, is what it's shot in. That's high definition. And you think high definition is absolutely wonderful, and it doesn't need lighting, and we just have candles, and it's really quite simple.
Moody.
Not so good for the...
But you're all terribly brave. There's not much makeup round there.
There's no makeup at all.
Not at all.
So it's very grim.
Was it in your contract when you started? They say to you, you can only do this if you agree not to wear makeup.
Nobody said a word about that, but we might have thought twice about it, had they done.
Stellar cast, though. I mean, it struck me the only person who isn't there is the person you're off with, Maggie Smith.
Yes, that's right.
Because you seem to be great mates with Maggie. I mean, you do a lot together. Ladies in Lavender, again, was a great favourite.
Yes. Yes, there was something like 48 of us in the cast. So it was, and we were on location a lot of the time in Laycock and West Wickham.
Laycock seems to be the village they use for all these period dramas. Pride and Prejudice it was used for, I think, wasn't it?
I don't think the people of Laycock ever get a chance to live there properly.
or
I think they're permanently people looking through the window with a big light.
Or they put a bonnet on and go down the street to the grocer's because they were taken for an extra.
Yes, everyone says, what a wonderful set. You say, that's not a set, that's Laycock.
So, I mean, when you a lot of hanging around like that, is it a time for good humour as well?
Well, there wasn't much hanging around in that, actually, because we did it in really a comparatively very short time. And there were a lot of scenes. I mean, at the end of it, we were doing the equivalent of, well, we were doing, on an average, we were doing about 7 scenes a day.
It's a lot.
It was, yes, it was a lot. Yeah. But the crew were just fantastic.
How does it compare with Bond? I mean, I was checking, is it 12 years you've been doing Bond for now?
I don't know, is it?
It's a good long while, yeah. Because
it might
and I think this is the 22nd Bond film, which again astonishes me.
Yes, everyone says, what's the new Bond film called? I said Bond 22, which is, there is no title to it.
Do you remember the moment you were asked if you'd like to be M?
Yeah, Michael remembered it better.
Yeah.
And Michael and my daughter Finty got very, very excited. Michael said how thrilling to live with a Bond woman. Not a girl anymore then, it all changed.
Oh, right, it was always Bond girls before until you came. I am now a woman.
Bond woman.
Was it out of the blue, completely?
It was out of the blue. I thought it was a kind of joke, really, but it turned out not to be. And I'm terribly pleased I did it, because I have a lovely time. And it goes down really well with my grandson and his mates.
The street cred must be enormous.
Fantastic.
Do you know what your real name is?
Of course I do.
But you won't tell me, will you?
Of course I won't, no. I can't, I'm bound to secrecy.
Dash, look at this Lego. I'm not telling you. But we're talking, you know, doing M and doing Cranford and the wonderful work you get, Mrs. Henderson, Iris, all these wonderful films. What makes you say yes to a part?
Strangely enough, not the script, usually. Amazingly to say that. It's to do with who asks me to do it, who's going to direct it, who's going to be in it. Michael Caine, I think, once said he opened the script and saw they're in the Bahamas, and he said yes straight away. It's to do entirely with the people, entirely to do with the people who I'm going to be with. I couldn't do a one-woman show. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do it. I would bore myself to, you know.
Really?
It's only because of the kind of feeling between the people who work together and your director and your producer and the crew and everything. And
does it get harder as you get more experienced? Or
I think it does get harder. I'm much more nervous now than I ever was, because I don't know that I'm going to know it.
What, just remember the lines?
Yes, just a matter of remembering. Never mind acting, just remember the lines. It's hard.
Does that make it, because you do stage and film? I mean, you know, wonderful bits of stage.
Stage is better, because you get more chances at it.
But then you've got more to remember in one chunk. You know, if you're doing a scene in Cranford or Bond...
Not necessarily. But, you know, you just get a chance to go on night after night and practice it and get better, hopefully. Yeah. But in film, you only have one go, and the next day you think, oh, I could have done that much better, much too late then.
But when you're now very established, you know, you have, and I'm not flattering, you know, you've become a national treasure, you've become an icon. Does that make it harder because the higher you are, do you feel the further you've got to fall if something does go wrong or you don't do something
no, I think you've got more responsibility. If you've done something that people will like and they want to come and see you, then you have a responsibility to them to be as good as you possibly can be. And I think that's hard, isn't it?
Do you mind about critics?
I don't read them.
At all?
No, not now.
When did
By
you...
accident, I might read one.
Yeah.
And I quickly throw it down. No, I don't. You can't. You know.
Well, because if they're good, you'd get too big-headed, and if they were bad, you'd get depressed.
And sometimes, in one part, you'll get somebody saying, this is very, very good, and you get somebody saying, this is appalling. Well, who do you believe?
Yeah.
You believe the director and the people you're working with and the audience who react to it, you know.
What drives you to keep going? Is it just constant stimulation? The fact of...
Well, I like it. I love the company of people.
Yeah.
I just love... And I love the company of actors.
They're an amusing bunch, generally.
Yes, and they're also unbelievably generous.
Yeah. What
and
about
charitable.
Christmas? Christmas at home.
Christmas at home, lovely.
For you, what are the traditions in the Dench household of Christmas?
We used to... well, we do. We put a candle in every window on Christmas Eve and don't draw the curtain. Well, fortunately, don't draw the curtain.
Goodbye house.
Lovely to come home from church and find your house. Yes, lovely blaze.
Yeah.
And we've always done that, always done that. And we have a tree and everything. And I love decorating the house. Finty and I decorate, my daughter and I decorate the house. And it's a lovely time.
Tough. There are lots of folk out there, you know, whose families are not what they were. You know, you lost Michael, and you battle on and push forward. But presumably with Finty and grandson, there's still lots to look forward to.
Yes, we're lucky, aren't we, if we have our family around us. Yeah. Very lucky.
And I was very lucky because I had you around me, because on Christmas Day on Radio 4, I'm doing With Great Pleasure, which is poetry and prose, and I asked for 2 readers, and I thought I won't get them, and I said, could I have Judi Dench and Geoffrey Palmer? And you very sweetly said yes.
Unfortunately, we both said yes.
Yes, you did. You were both free with nothing better on, so thank you ever so much. Did you enjoy it?
We had a lovely time, really lovely time, and you chose some wonderful bits for us to do.
Right, well, I'm ever so glad.
And we all had a nice time, didn't we?
We did. We just
have to hope that everybody else does.
And if you want to hear Judy doing Lady Bracknell and Geoffrey Palmer playing 29-year-old Jack Worthing, listen on the radio on Christmas Day. It's been great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. Lovely to talk to you.
Adam,
Judi Dench.